This is the On the Pony Express podcast, hosted by Billy Embody, brought to you by Epoch Estate Wines. Walking strong on the Pony Express, a weekly segment with SMU alum, owner, vintner of Epoch Estate Wines, Bill Armstrong. Epoch Estate Wines, world-class wines from Paso Robles wine country. Learn more, Epoch, E-P-O-C-H, epochwines.com. And now your host, Billy Embody.
1, 2, 3, let we go.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Walking Strong with Bill Armstrong.
Billy Embody, I'm my podcast partner.
Another season, we did it.
Can you believe it? We started this about a year ago, didn't we?
Yes,
no, it was
we
probably,
did.
was it a year?
Yeah.
What is the episode? Is this like number 20, 24?
We'll go with that.
I don't know. Anyway, it's so fun. Well, this is going to be a fun episode because I'm going to introduce to y'all the famed Pony Express case that we're selling this year and why I picked it. And then Billy and I are going to kick around a little bit about our prognostication for the season.
Yeah.
Week by week. But we're not going to pick the winner each week, but we're going to go describe the game real quickly.
Yes.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
You know how to do this.
And welcome to the ACC fans that are watching this podcast and
I love it
for the first time.
And by the way, this case is specifically put together in anticipation of we are so psyched to be in the ACC. And then you'll see what we've done as far as with the wine, because you're just going to just be blown away. All y'all on the Atlantic coast and those two stragglers on the West Coast, y'all are going to be blown away. So we're having rosé.
Yes, number one.
We can drink number one rosé rated in the world.
Sure.
So we're having this, and then, well, let's just like go right in, right? So here's what it is. Epoch is my winery that I started from scratch back 20 years ago. My wife and I did this from scratch, planted the vines, picked the grapes, picked the location. So it was from a ground floor grown up project. And we have quickly been established as one of the very top wineries in the country, which is just really exciting for us. And so I have put together me and my winemaker and some of my awesome staff put together the greatest 12 bottle case of wine that I think has ever been put together, ever been assimilated into one case of wine. And I'm basing that off of the critic scores. There's like 3 or 4 prominent critics in the wine world. And if you ever get over a 95, that's pretty rare. And to get anything close to 97, 8, 9, it's really rare. And so I'm going to just blow y'all away with this podcast. Let's start.
Yeah,
you want to?
let's do it.
Start. Okay. So week 1.
Week 0.
Well, that's right. Week 0.
I know.
Week 1 for us, but yes, because there's just 2 games that weekend, right?
Yeah. And SMU plays at Nevada that night on Saturday, 5 o'clock out there on the West Coast, whatever time zone you consider Nevada in. I'm not so sure.
What is Nevada? Is that in the West Coast or the mountain?
It is the Pacific.
Pacific. Okay.
Pacific.
All right.
And Bill's Winery, for those of you joining us on the ACC front, is in Paso Robles.
Paso Robles, yes.
So California.
Yep.
So
Yep.
Cal, Stanford, shoot down there and check them out.
Right in between Los Angeles and San Francisco, kind of right by the ocean there. And it looks like Tuscany. Gorgeous, gorgeous place. And Mustang fans, we're going to have a special outing there before the Stanford game.
Yes.
So we're going to be doing a podcast from our tasting room. Beautiful tasting room. We got rated number 2 architectural design in the world over the last 50 years. So it's really spectacular, gorgeous place. And I hope a lot of pony fans can make it for that. That's going to be super fun.
Nevada, first-year head coach Jeff Choate comes over from Texas. He was the co-DC there. So a little Texas tie right off the bat.
Love that.
They're excited over there with the Wolfpack. We're excited to debut the Pony Express case with this first wine.
Yes, okay.
Jump right into it.
So our first wine out of this case is a beautiful white. And it's our first game in Nevada. And I picked the white because this is still hot as shit, you know? and so a nice white wine will be beautiful. So this is a 93 point scoring wine, the lowest scoring wine, I think, in this entire box. And it's because, for all you not wine nerds, white wines and rosés are downgraded, almost like being in the American Conference was last year for us, because, you're not a red.
Yeah.
And so anyway, really, really nice score for a white. This is Grenache Blanc and equal parts Grenache Blanc and Viognier. It's just absolutely terrific. So you're going to love it.
SMU will have to start out fast there. A little bit of white wine if you're out there during the day. Maybe finish it off with the red. And for those that don't know, what do we say about wine, specifically Epic wine?
I mean, yeah, it's just because we learned this line from Napoleon. He was talking about champagne and is victory, you've earned it. In defeat, you need it. So there we go. So we're gonna drink a bottle every game this year. We have an awesome schedule this year.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
And it's long.
Yeah.
It's August to damn near December.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll be bowling, and hopefully God willing, we may go to the ACC championship December 7th, and that would be fun. But awesome schedule. Okay, so week 1, that's about it. Let's go to week 2. Week 2 is
Houston Christian.
Houston Christian. I keep wanting to say Houston Baptist.
Yes, they flipped the script on us.
They flipped the script. So
flip the Bible, if you will.
Yeah, whatever. Listen, I like my Baptists and my Christians both, so it doesn't really matter to me. So, but week 2 is super special, and so week 2 we're going to put that week. It's our estate blend.
This is the first wine that I've ever had from Epic.
Was it really?
Estate blend.
The estate blend is it's kind of our, like, all the grapes from our estate kind of thrown in together, and it's just a beautiful blend. This is a 97-point scoring wine, and the reason I picked estate blend for this weekend is because right here, our new end zone. That's our estate. That's our new end zone. We're going to show it off. Weber end zone is amazing. Thank you, Gary Weber. And on the lower floor is going to be the Armstrong Football Operations Center. I went through it yesterday with the ACC guys, and we changed the name. We're going to change the name to the Armstrong Wellness Gym and Spa. I mean, it really is that nice.
Are they going to have to take the lettering off and all that?
Only in Dallas would you call a gym a wellness spa, especially so it's really that awesome.
Here's to offering it up for opponents after the game when they need some wellness checks after the Dallas
They
heat.
can go for a cold plunge.
Yeah,
or they can go in there and get some kind of really awesome medical work, which you might need. So, okay, that's week 2. I don't know nothing about HCU.
Another first-year head coach, Jason Bachtel, is taking over there. He's in his first year. Houston Christian has look, it's an FCS game for SMU, so to speak. I mean, this is one where you should see a lot of the guys play. I think last year's kind of throwaway game for SMU, I think they played all 4 quarterbacks. They played Preston, Kevin, they played Alex Padilla.
I forgot. That's right.
Yep.
It's Cherry Creek High
and
School.
Luster.
Luster. Yeah.
So
maybe
a little bit more of that for SMU this year as they take on HCU week 1 of the season, game 2. Let's move on to game 3.
Game 3,
week 2
starts to get into what I would call the meat of our schedule.
Yes,
because we're playing BYU on week 3, and so I have a special wine for this week, and it's our York Mountain Syrah, and it's BYU, also a 97-point scoring wine. The reason I picked this Syrah for this week is because we're playing the Cougars, and there's multiple Cougars up at York Mountain. Not the two-legged. I know what you're thinking.
For our dozens of fans out there, that's of course where my mind.
We may have hundreds of fans by this time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so but we commonly see a 4-legged cougar up at York Mountain because it's really wild and it's very very rural, and they're just all over the neighborhood. So anyway, that's how I picked BYU, 97-point scoring wine. You guys are gonna love it. It's a kind of a cool climate Syrah. So because York Mountain is really close to the ocean, and it just has a cooler climate than some of our other vineyards out there. And wow, it's just amazing. So
most of the BYU team, if they chose to, would be wine veterans at this point. I mean, some of the guys on that team tend to be about 26, 27 families.
I don't know, man. They're Mormons, right? Do they drink?
Yeah, I don't know.
Are the players Mormon?
They might not be our target audience, but
I don't know.
SMU's hoping to avenge the New
listen,
Mexico Bowl. That's first and foremost
that's
for
right.
this game.
I forgot about that.
Friday night game.
By the way, BYU always brings their A game. Don't they bring their A game?
Super physical.
And they travel well.
Yep.
So
it should be a nice Friday night atmosphere in Ford Stadium. Kalani Sitake leads the Cougars, their head coach, and
that almost sounds dirty.
I know.
You know,
Shiitake. That was
okay.
kind of that was kind of the pronunciation.
Is that a Japanese name?
Polynesian.
Yeah.
I'm going with that.
I'm going poly.
So they're always physical though, really tough opponent, and that is a perfect precursor for the bye week. Rest up after that one, and then
then we're really getting into the fun of it. Again, I got to bring it out, the ingenuity.
Yep.
Because if it wasn't for Sonny Dykes, he was so ingenious in the sense that he got us into the ACC. Because when he stabbed everybody in the back and left to go to our crosstown rival, it rallied Mustang Nation.
Yeah.
It really does. So it was ingenious. And so for the game against TCU, ingenuity, 96-point scoring wine. This is phenomenal. It's I believe it's mostly Petit Syrah. Yeah. So
big.
It is big. It is really big. And
big game.
It's a big game. It's a big game. You know, it's not important to the ACC, but for pride, I think we're going to win. But it's a rival game.
Yeah.
You know, it's a rival game.
There's only 2 left after this one, or after, including this one.
Yeah, there's one more after this, right?
Yes, back in Fort Worth.
Do you think Sonny's going to try to get out of that too?
I'm not putting it past them. I would imagine they'd love to pay a hefty exit fee, especially if this one goes SMU's way.
My daughters keep telling me to stop dogging Sonny. And Lance McElhaney, you keep telling me to stop dogging Sonny. But you know what? Everybody else likes it. And it just comes so goddamn easy to me. I'm just saying.
Hey, you were on the front lines of that, and it's now kind of matured, I would say, into this like, there's so much animosity between SMU and TCU.
I know.
For many reasons.
Well, they kept us out of the Big 12.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is a chance to have another statement. You know, Rhett and crew went to Memphis, got that win, vanquished the Tulane Demons in that AAC championship game.
Yes.
This is the next one.
Yes.
And then we can start tackling ACC stuff.
Right. Okay. So that's our 4 non-conference games.
Yeah.
I think you told me you think you're going to sweep.
There's a opportunity there for them if
those
they
4.
match the physicality of BYU early.
Yep.
If they control the line of scrimmage,
both home games.
Both home games. SMU plays really well at home. BYU ran it down SMU's throat 2 years ago. Totally different defense, totally different personnel.
And they haven't seen our defensive line, which is a bunch of beasts.
Yes. And TCU, who knows where their quarterback situation is.
Right.
They don't really feel like they have one. They've got multiple that could end up playing that
right?
game.
Oh, I didn't know
Josh Hoover, Hoss Haney, Ken Seals, all in the mix there. And look, they're going to stand behind Josh, but that'll be one of the most intriguing things. If Josh hits this year for TCU, that game's become so much tougher for SMU. But if he doesn't and he's inconsistent, who knows?
Yeah.
So.
Well, listen, you know, as much as I dog Sonny Dykes, I tried really hard to keep him. I tell you, he's a great coach.
Yeah, and he's had his guys ready to go the last 2 years against SMU. So
okay, so let's get into the ACC, baby.
Yeah, this is where it gets fun.
It gets really fun. So our first one right out of the box, Florida State. Yeah. Are you kidding me?
Did you get 100.1 because they're the champs?
Well, you know, I was going to. So I've got my Epic Veracity against Florida State. It's a 99-point scoring wine. And I picked this out specifically for Florida State because they got jobbed last year. I got jobbed. This should have been a 100-point score, just like Florida State should have been in the championship last year.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's why for Florida State, you've got Veracity. It's the truth, and it is that good. I mean, this is a classic Grenache, Syrah, Mourvedre blend, and it'll change your life.
Yeah.
I really do.
if SMU finds a way to beat Florida State in that first game, it'll change a lot of people's lives on this campus, I would say.
I think you're right.
Might be some kids born 9 months after that one.
You can name your kid Veracity.
Yeah,
I mean that would be.
Hey, wouldn't be the most
Epic.
Yeah, wouldn't be the most insane name.
Yeah,
these days,
exactly.
But,
Yeah, you're right. Nowadays with all these strange names, but to me, Florida State's the biggest question is the quarterback.
Yeah.
Right.
DJ Uyunglele.
I see. Say that again 3 times real fast. I mean, just like so. He was at Clemson, right?
Yes.
And then he transferred, highly rated. Then he transferred to
Oregon State.
Oregon State,
the Pac-2, the Pac-2 Beavers.
I feel sorry for.
Yeah, you got to feel a little sorry for them.
I really do.
Yeah.
And then now he's at Florida State.
Yeah.
And I say he's quick, right? He's got good legs.
You were at ACC Media Day on the day SMU, Florida State were there. You represented a particular magazine that day as well. We'll roll the clip right now.
Oh, are you gonna show that clip?
Stay on the right-hand side, about the 5th row up. Gentleman's got his hand in the air.
Hi, this is Bill Armstrong with Horse and Hound magazine. Do you consider yourself more of a thoroughbred or a dog?
Definitely a dog. You know, I mean, I feel like personally, if I'm going at my best, I don't think there's a lot of people who could block me one-on-one for sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
So there it is.
That
Boom.
was really fun.
So Elijah handled that like a pro.
Like a pro. He saw me getting up there and he goes, "This is gonna be weird." And you guys couldn't see it on that clip, but right to the right of him was Rhett and Preston and KJ. And RJ, and they were just going, "Oh man, what?"
Yeah, it was a missed opportunity to pub the podcast, but also a good segue because there are a lot of thoroughbreds and dogs on that Florida State team. If you saw those guys they brought with them, big dudes. SMU's got a huge challenge.
Yes, I think on paper, if I had to guess, Florida State is the one team that we're playing that I could say stacks up on paper. Yeah, bigger and better than SMU on just a pure raw talent standpoint.
Oh yeah. And as we look at that game in the season, we'll know what Preston's doing, you know, how SMU's playing. We'll know how DJ's playing because DJ hasn't been perfect on the big stage.
No, that's a good point.
But Mike Norvell is a really good coach. He's a fellow Central Arkansas grad like my wife Michelle.
Is he really?
Yeah. He was finishing up there.
I met him
when
at Media Day,
there.
class act.
Yeah.
A really good guy. Tiny guy.
Yeah, he's a little guy.
I mean, I couldn't believe it. I mean,
played wideout and had cornrows back in the day. Believe it or not.
He did not.
I'll show you the picture after the podcast.
Cornrows, jeez, Mike. I don't know. I mean, could I pull that off? I mean, I wish I could.
Yeah.
All right, on with it. So, our next week is against Louisville.
Yeah.
And Louisville, special wine for you. It's our rosé. This is the #1 rated rosé on the planet. I got. We could probably tag up that article that highlighted it. It said the top 25 rosés from worst to first. And I was driving down Central Expressway. I told this story on another podcast, and we were #1. And so Louisville's so good. Florida State last year was,
the champions.
Champions. Louisville is not much worse.
We were watching Florida State Louisville when SMU beat Tulane in your condo there, or your church.
Oh, that's right.
Your church.
That's my church.
It was kind of a boring game, but
if I recall, I was like in the bag. So was my wife.
You were celebrating, man.
We were celebrating. That was super fun. So that's right. It was on that game.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, Louisville, I don't know much about them. So, you want to, what do you think?
Yeah, super explosive team. Their coaching staff led by Coach Braun. Brom always has them ready to go. And they're another team similar to SMU, similar to Florida State, kind of portal kings. Really going to go after the portal, do it well, and all of that. And so they have their NIL in order as well there. So I'm excited to get to Bourbon Country. We'll get Bourbon Country and Wine Country in this season. That's pretty,
I love that.
Pretty good deal right there.
Because I don't think Louisville has the climate for great wine, but they make great bourbon.
That they do.
They do make great bourbon, which is your preferred drink, isn't it? Of your heart.
Got a bunch of them. Can be a martini guy, can be a margarita guy, but hey.
Well, you got skills.
Right now.
You got skills, of course.
Wine and rosé, of course.
Okay, baby.
So.
Okay, let's go into what are we at now? Week 7?
We are at Week 8, Game 7.
Game 7. Okay,
This is right in your backyard.
A special week.
This is a special week.
Playing Stanford, and to me, Stanford is one of the authentic schools in the country. I mean, what Leland Stanford did by donating the land for Stanford, it was in memory of his son who died of typhoid, and 15 years old is her only child.
Wow.
And so he said, I'm going to make the children of California my child.
Wow.
And so, and it's gone from nothing, I think in like pretty recent, like 1880 or so is when it started, to being, one of the best schools in the country. And so Stanford, you're authentic. You're getting the bottle of authenticity. It is phenomenal wine, 100% Syrah, 98-point scoring. By the way, this is a little known fact. I only applied to 2 schools, Stanford and SMU. I got into Stanford, turned them down, come to SMU. My third school I was going to go to was Duke. So right here in the meat of the schedule, Stanford and Duke were my second and third favorite schools to apply to. Yeah. I got a phone call from Stanford. This is in 1978. And then Stanford called me up and they said, did you make a mistake? Because nobody turns down Stanford to go to SMU. And I said, well, I did. So anyway,
worked out for you.
It worked out for me.
But
I got
you still got to meet, and I'm sure you've still got to meet Condi Rice. So.
Oh, Condi is like one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, she's a friend of SMU, I would say.
She's a friend of SMU, great friend of George W. Bush, obviously, and one of the classist acts. If I could talk her into running for president, she would win in a landslide.
Yeah.
I mean, she is that awesome. I heard she wants to be like the commissioner of the NFL or something.
I've heard that from time to time. She's spoken on this campus multiple times, state lectures. So can't wait to get to Condi's campus. We'll just call it that.
So we're going to have this, what do you want to call it? Get together at our tailgate at our winery. It's about a 3-hour drive from Stanford, and if you haven't seen Stanford, you need to.
Yeah,
because it is gorgeous.
I've talked.
It's an 8,000 acre campus.
It is. I can't wait to get out there. Had some family that graduated from there, and they've spoken so highly of it. We'll be in Paso Robles Friday night, and for some of us Thursday as well, doing some tastings, doing the event on Epoch's property, which is going to be really special. We do have hotel blocks that are coming out soon. We have registration links that are coming out soon. Sweet. Charter bus included for those who want to do it, and culminating in Saturday's tailgate at Stanford with the tasting.
We're still waiting for a tea time or a kickoff, right?
Yes. The rumor is it will be a evening game.
Sweet.
Because Stanford, SMU, only 2 time zones. They don't have to have this they don't have to kick it off at like 10 o'clock Eastern to play 7 o'clock. So there's only so many opportunities for Stanford to have a reasonably timed night game in a sense for the rest of the country.
That would be awesome.
That's the rumor. Really hope it goes through.
Is Stanford, how's their football team now? It's rebuilding?
Troy Taylor is one of the most impressive coaches, I think, in the country, because Stanford can't do the portal. They can't do it. And then they also...
Wait.
I mean, you can't, grab somebody and just be like, all right, junior, or senior, we're going to throw you in a Stanford class and then graduate.
Because Stanford's just so tough?
They won't let them in and things like that.
Oh,
yeah,
geez.
so they've done a lot of building through the high school ranks. And then on the flip side, guys like Jonathan McGill are in part here because Stanford's graduate programs are ridiculous.
Yeah.
So,
I'm so glad we have Jonathan McGill.
Mike Williams, same thing a few years ago. So, SMU definitely benefiting from that piece of Stanford. But
they have more billionaire graduates than any school in the country other than Harvard. Wow. So they could have NIL as much as SMU does and more.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that about the portal that that they won't make exceptions.
Yeah. So they've really had to build it up from the kind of the ground up, and so they've done a nice job there. He's a pretty sharp coach, so like him a lot. We're trying to make friends here. I mean, you've got FSU fans on our side already saying they should have made the conference championship.
Well, they should have. They should have. I'm sorry.
College football playoff. All right, week 9, Duke.
Okay, so week 9, Duke. That was my third choice of colleges. I don't believe I sent an application in because once I got into Stanford and SMU, I didn't need to. Anyway, so Duke, I've got our York Mountain Viognier. It's a beautiful white wine made famous in Condrieu, France, and is just an absolute gorgeous
This is a
wine.
great one.
And it's I picked Duke for Viognier because I feel like if you could spell Krzyzewski, you can spell Viognier. So there you go. They had Coach K,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking smart group, Viognier, French word, boom, they're in. They're in. You'll love it, and they will love this.
Manny Diaz takes over as head coach of the Blue Devils. Johnny Brewer, a familiar name.
Manny Diaz from Miami.
Yeah, Manny Diaz.
Okay,
Yes,
good.
he's back in the head coaching ranks. Brett Lashley obviously spent time working for him at Miami, and because of that, is back here at SMU. So that'll be a fun game. A lot of ties between the two coaching staffs there, and then we get to Pitt homecoming.
That's right. Pitt is homecoming. I didn't realize that. So I got a. It's a big week, America. We don't go political on this show on purpose, but I picked the wine specifically, Sensibility, which may be the wine that I drink when I'm alone. It is that good. 96 point scoring wine, and you know what? That's election week.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people are going to deserve and need it.
I really hope our country is sensible in their choice. I'm not going to say who I'm saying is sensible and who's not, but it's a huge week for our country.
Yep.
So, and Pitt, I love Pitt because it is sitting on the largest natural gas field on the planet. I mean, believe it or not, the Marcellus Shale, and yay for that. It's great for Pennsylvania.
Well,
so
a tough,
and our country.
tough football team there, as always. They had a down year last year. Pat Narduzzi, though, always has them ready to play there at Pitt. And, of course, look, we'll support the natural gas family over there, too.
Oh, you're damn right.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, of course.
Clean burning, great for the world, natural gas.
Yeah.
And Pittsburgh's sitting on top of it.
They are not the Wildcatters. They are the Panthers. So
the Panthers,
then, speaking of a wild game that we're seeing a rematch of,
so
Boston College.
Boston College. So for our Boston College game, I picked Tempranillo. And the reason I picked Tempranillo, because the word Tempranillo means early ripening in Spain. We played Boston College early, and so that was our earliest entrance game into the ACC. Very disappointing game.
Mm-hmm.
It was really hard to be there. It was fucking freezing and absolutely cold as shit. None of our guys wanted to be there because we wanted to be playing on New Year's Day game or whatever.
And instead, Liberty was getting shellacked by Oregon in the first quarter.
And that's right. That's exactly right. We should have been there. We went to the Wasabi Fenway Bowl. Seriously?
Yeah.
Can you imagine naming a bowl over some type of horseradish?
Do you like wasabi on your sushi? Do you get in there?
I love it.
I do.
Anyway, it was a fun day. I met a lot of really great people from Boston, and
what a great city to get to go to at some point in our ACC.
It was the closest. I've never seen a game that would turn literally on one play more than that game. I mean, KJ just threw that dime in the end zone, right in the numbers, and then it was dropped, and then it was just the momentum just flip-flopped. It was one of those things. All right.
This is another friend of the program, I would say, matchup. Virginia.
Oh, you kidding me? UVA. I'm psyched for UVA. So I picked a perfect wine for this, our 100% Mourvedre. And that's because our boy Thomas Jefferson loved French wines. He absolutely loved French wines, and he founded UVA.
Wow.
Yeah. So in fact, he was one of the first Americans to bring over the French clones of wine to America and try to grow it. And you can't get much more French than Mourvedre. So you're going to love it. And one of my favorite people in the world, Glenn Youngkin's wife, Suzanne Youngkin, Governor Glenn Youngkin, his wife, Suzanne, if you're watching this, I know you're going to watch it. She graduated from SMU.
Yeah.
And she's terrific. She's on the athletic committee with me. And
SMU Sons now, too.
SMU Sons. And Glenn's terrific. And Suzanne is absolutely dynamite. So anyway, great friends. So I think she's actually going to throw a party for I'm not sure I should have said that for SMU. I didn't say that, Suzanne. I'm sorry. Anyway, tell me about UVA football. I don't know.
I'm still diving into some of these teams too, but Tony Elliott came over a few years ago from Clemson. He was their offensive coordinator there for a long time. Well-respected coach, runs a great program, and they're kind of, it's a struggle for them, I think, in the ACC. A lot of the North Carolinas and NC States and FSUs and Clemsons and Miamis, and they get a lot of the talent. And UVA, great school, tough to be a student athlete, but they've had some buzz here and there throughout the last couple decades and moments. They played for a conference championship a few years back, but
they did.
They are.
You think they focus more on basketball?
I mean,
they're
they're
so good.
You want to talk about a tough matchup?
Yeah,
that is going to be Virginia for SMU basketball. But
yeah, no doubt.
They're at least from last year, I believe they're the weakest team in the ACC.
Are they? Yeah.
Portion of the schedule.
It's actually pretty interesting. I was kind of looking up the ACC, schedule of last year. It's almost parity. You take out Florida State and Louisville, shockingly, everybody's kind of right around, parity.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there isn't like a dominant, loser.
No. Well,
and other than Florida State and Louisville, there's not a dominant winner.
Yeah. And NC State, I believe, finished like third in the conference or something like that. And Clemson and Miami were, I don't want to say bottom half, but they were definitely right in the middle.
They're rebuilding.
So,
right? I mean, Dabo is just, I still think, just like legendary awesome. So I can't imagine him staying down for long.
Yeah.
And, of course, Miami has Miami.
Yeah.
Just like we have Dallas.
Yeah.
Miami is a hotbed for talent.
Yes.
And just like Dallas is for recruiting. So, okay, last game
of the year.
Hey,
we might be seeing a Heisman Trophy hopeful in this game.
That's what I hear.
Jaden Ott is a stud.
He's a stud. And which we heard yesterday or 2 days ago from Eric McLean. He says there's so many great running backs. And they're saying this kid may be like the Heisman candidate.
Yeah.
So
Justin Wilcox is going into his 8th season there, but let's hear about the one.
All right. One thing I like about Cal.
This is at home, by the way.
It's at home. Yeah, it's a home game.
Yep.
One thing I like about Cal, they fired Sonny Dykes. I just love that. So I have probably the wine that we're most famous for is our Block B. So Block B is our wine for Cal. And I'm throwing this out there because Cal, you're right there just south of Napa, and I'm dropping the gauntlet on you. I want you guys to bring your best against Epoch because I will blind taste their shit out of our wine against yours any day of the week. So I'm running. This is not just about competition in football.
No.
It's about competition in wine.
Well, you already jump-started that. You beat the maybe mayor of Dallas, Mayor Johnson, on doing some sort of deal. Because now, hey, Cal, SMU, I think that's the rotating game on Thanksgiving weekend now.
It's the Thanksgiving weekend game for year in, year out. So it's going to be home Cal, away Cal on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. Cal's a beautiful campus. But this year we're playing home. But it's, it's a really good school.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like so many of the ACC schools, just really good schools, the kind of schools a lot of SMU is aspiring to be.
Yeah.
Like, we want to be more like Stanford, want to be more like Duke and Cal.
UVA.
Without the woke.
Yeah.
I just said it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Well, we woke up the ACC fan base with this Pony Express case. This will wake you up.
This will wake you up. Okay, so here's how you get the Pony Express case. Go to epicwines.com/pony. That'll get you in. There's a special discount to anybody buying the Pony Express case. If you don't want to buy the whole case, let's say that you're a UVA and you say, I just want to buy the wine that we're playing SMU on. That's available to you as well. You don't even have to be a Pony fan to buy the Pony Express case.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the best case of wine you've ever seen. And so just buy the case.
Well, look, if we were playing Northwestern in the Big Ten, I'd want to get a discount code from Portillo's or something like that. Like, let's start trading these discount codes on their best.
I'm in.
Right?
Why not?
Cal,
why not? Yeah.
Go figure out some discount codes for people. We
could probably do that.
Hey, you got to buy the Pony Express case first.
Yeah, it is. Okay, good, man. That was a fast. I hope it's fast. How many minutes is that? Anyway, it was good. So thank you for doing this. This is great. So my prediction for the season.
Yes.
I think I'm going to go aggressive, 9-3.
I've been saying 8-4. I'm going to stick with 8-4. I think they can get through the non-conference slate on paper. I think they should be able to. This is the next step for SMU.
I get it.
And then the grind of the schedule with the ACC.
It's a reasonably decent schedule for us. We obviously play Florida State and Louisville, which are the two tough ones this year. But we don't play North Carolina. We don't play Miami. We don't play Clemson.
Yep.
So it's beyond those two.
Yeah. A lot of winnable games on paper.
A lot of winnable games on paper. But you know how this is. It's like the ACC is kind of parity. It's like they're big boys. They're athletic. They're really fantastic. But 9-3. If SMU goes 9-3, our program is going to explode.
Yeah, and that's before you play a bowl game. So
that's before you play a goal, so we could get in double digits.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you, Billy.
Yeah,
that was
you,
really
Bill.
fun
That
for
was
me.
great.
I really enjoyed putting this case together. Put a lot of effort into picking it specifically for each game, and I hope you guys enjoyed the humor of it all. Because it was super fun. So
we're gonna have a lot of fun this season on Walking Strong with Bill Armstrong. I'm Billy Embody. Thanks for tuning in, and we will be back with our season by game soon enough. We'll start doing that. So we do every week as well.
We might have a special podcast coming your way in the next week or so. A little bit of a hint there, which could be really good. And so thanks for watching.
Yeah. Thanks so much, guys, and we'll catch you next time on Walking Strong.